Hello, I'm Flora Wiegers, Chair of Special Projects for Arpa International Film Festival. On behalf of our charismatic and graceful founder, Sylvia Minassian, our mesmerizing jury liaison, Sonia Keshishian, and our energetic and remarkable festival director, Maral Kazazian, and the entire Arpa team, I would like to welcome you to the 24th Arpa International Film Festival. This year again, we are streaming online, showing 70 films from different categories and from 21 different countries around the world. And just a reminder, our festival ends on December 5th. Our special guest today for tonight's Q&A session is the producer of the amazing and powerful documentary, The Desire to Live, Peter Bahlawanian. Before we start, I would like to thank Peter and his team for making this documentary and documenting what the Armenian diaspora and the rest of the world needs to see and witness. Peter, you and your team have done what you have done is extremely important, both to the Armenian cause and the future of Artsakh in terms of raising international awareness about the 44-day war. Peter Bahlawanian, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you for having our film in the festival. And Mariam, the real hero behind the film, couldn't be with us because it is 5 o'clock in the morning in Armenia. But I will try my best to represent her at the same time. But we do have Alan with us, which is our genius musical scorer that made that soundtrack with the film that everybody's been obviously listening to while watching the film. So he will also join in, obviously, and give his take and his experience with our film and making it and bringing it all the way to where it is now.
Well, I know how important music is. So Alan, Derian, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Peter, you're pretty well known in the Armenian community in Los Angeles. However, for some of our audiences who would love to get to know you better and learn more about you, do you mind just introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Sure. I was born in Montreal, raised in a very Armenian household, went to Armenian school in AGBU, learned how to write and read. At the same time, I learned how to read and write French. So 3 languages growing up, and just film and music was part of my life. My dad is a big time music pioneer in the Armenian community as well. Started a company called Pico Records. So I grew up in the whole environment, but I went and studied film. And once I graduated from film, I decided Montreal might have not be the best suitable city for me. And I just made the big move and moved to LA. And since then, it's been over 25 years. I have been working in entertainment, pretty much. I thought I was going to make movies right away, just like everybody that comes to Hollywood. But then I realized that it's not as easy as everybody thinks. And I was just happy to be involved in any type of entertainment production. I opened up a record shop on Hollywood Boulevard for a few years, ran that. While I was doing that, I started getting back in the production end of it, and then started the first Armenian Music Awards back in the 90s. Produced that for 10 years. Moved on, did a lot of, in between, I did a lot of concerts and shows, TV shows, hosted my TV show, just kept myself busy because I really felt like we needed to create an industry. I also was involved with Arpa very early on. Oh. I think it was the second year where I was the director of the film festival, where Sylvia, yes, I worked with Sylvia side by side, and we moved it over to the Raleigh Studios, and it was quite an adventure back then. And I have to say, Sylvia is amazing. She's gone for 24 years, and I know how long that is because I've been doing things for a period of time, but I have to give it to her. She's so dedicated to what she does, and she has such a drive. It's amazing. It's amazing success that she's reached to with her festival, and have helped a lot of Armenians, a lot of people in the community, outside of the community, and around the world, which is really the goal that you want to achieve as an Armenian, trying to give back to the community. Recently, when the opportunity came up to do something right around the wartime, I jumped on it because I needed to be involved. I couldn't go and fight, just like everybody in the diaspora probably wanted to, but I figured I would do something that I knew how to do, which was to make documentaries. And once I connected with Mariam, which was right after the war, we started continuing on the project that she actually gave birth to, because she really did the first few episodes, the 2 episodes at first for Artsakh TV. And then when I connected with her, I said, I just want to continue doing what you're doing, but then make it a bit longer, make it into a season. And it just happened organically. Since then, I produced and she made 26 episodes that we released on YouTube. Every week we would release an episode about 15 minutes long, and that described and showed the people in Artsakh talking about their lives firsthand, non-narrative documentary, which is rare nowadays. You just listen to the subject, you just get into the world that's there. And I believe a lot of people, even most Armenians, still haven't really lived in Artsakh. Maybe they visited Armenia quite a bit, and maybe even visited Stepanakert, but living in Artsakh and going through the struggles that our brothers and sisters have gone through, the film, I feel, gives it at least a little bit of face and voice and an identity. And I think that was really the ultimate goal with my work, is to spread what's happening there. It's ongoing. They're not out of the woods. There's today there was another fellow that was kidnapped and killed from Artsakh, taken from his own land, his own home. And this is an ongoing process until change comes. And obviously, it's not just happening. Change is not just happening. We have to demand it now. We have to do everything in our power to bring change. And I feel that maybe with our film, with our feature film, going around festivals and having people that are non-Armenian, which is very important to us, because obviously we know Armenians they all know what's going on. Yes. But the non-Armenian community needs to get angry. The non-Armenian community needs to back us up. This is really the biggest point that we need to achieve in some of the work that we're doing. And to relate to them, we have to be creative. We have to get creative, and we have to let our creative powers come out and connect to them and connect to their hearts. And once we do that, then we can't be stopped, because we'll have the backing. Everybody will be. Governments are not going to just help us, but if the people in the countries demand their governments for change, then maybe change can come. So now we are here, and we're very excited to be part of your festival, because it's almost like a full circle for me, coming back to Arpa. Now this time being part of the festival as a producer of the film. And I'm very excited. And I'm also very happy to be nominated with a fellow friend, Arpa, which is, he's got a beautiful film that I really admire him too as a filmmaker. So it's great to be part of a group of people that are so creative.
Yes, thank you. Well, that's a good segue to my second question. And that's about Maria Avetisian, Mariam. How did you select her? I mean, how did you meet her? Is there a story behind that?
Well, the very first time that I wanted to do a project, I had somebody from LA fly to Armenia while the war was going on, and I gave her a camera. Her name was Inessa, a young lady as well. And she was going to work for me there, but it was so chaotic while the war was going on, and COVID, everything was happening. Even she got COVID while she was there, and they were obviously not letting anybody go to Artsakh. So we didn't get that much interesting footage, even though she interviewed a bunch of people. But I still wanted the core. I wanted to see what I can get from Artsakh, and then I stumbled upon Mariam's first episode that she had done for Artsakh TV. And from there, I basically just immediately decided to have to connect with her. So I reached out, she reached back. We got on a Zoom conference call. Her sister joined us because she's our official translator of the film. She does all the, she does all the translations for the subtitles. Mm-hmm. And that was it. It was a one major conference call. And from that point on, I said, I'm your producer. And she said, you're my producer. And we moved forward. We got an agreement between us, formally too, so that she can feel that it's something real. It's not just somebody reaching out and saying, hey, I want to help you. No, I'm an actual producer. I do want to make a series. At the beginning, I didn't know how long this was going to go because everything was just happening. So I just wanted for her to have the opportunity and the platform, and that's what I gave her, and that was it. I mean, I can say yes, I looked for her, and then I found her, but at the same time, I feel it was more like it was just meant to be for us to connect, and it just happened that way. And to today, I haven't actually met her in person yet. We've always talked video conference.
Oh, wow.
She does all the legwork there. She's really the one that basically is the creative mind in the filming part of it, and I can probably take credit for it because I'm the producer on it, but I don't do much, honestly. She really is an amazing person. She does so much, and this is probably the easiest producing I've ever done in my life. Now it's a lot of work on me. It's a full-time job. But when she does the creative side, and especially with the segments, I didn't want to butt in. I thought she did such a beautiful job with her way of telling the story that I never really wanted to tell her how to do it. She just did it naturally. And considering the fact that this is her first big production and a first project. So she's a natural. She really is. She's got some really creative abilities that's going to shine even for years to come. And right now, she's really doing an incredible job.
Thank you. What were some of the challenges you faced making this documentary?
I think the challenges mostly lied where she would go out in production and have a fear that we can get attacked. So our team was very small, and there was times even in the filming, you hear gunshots in the background, and we knew that the Azeris were just a few miles away, and they could just literally look down and decide if they want to take a sniper shot, they can. So that was always looming all over, because we literally started shooting in December last year. So this was right after the ceasefire, or the whatever you want to call it, the peace treaty. And from that point on, she never stopped. Every week we would release a segment. So, and it was at these villages that were literally just border towns to the right now Azeri taken over lands. And it's just incredible that nothing happened while we were filming, but there was always that fear. And then, we dealt with some technical problems here and there, meaning, the drones that we had to get new drones down there because the ones that we were using were not working adequately. So other than that, though, we have to say we were sort of charmed. It was almost like we had an angel watching over our team and keeping them safe.
Yeah, wonderful. This film definitely should be seen not only by all the diasporas around the world, but everybody, non-Armenians as well. How do you hope this documentary will impact the Armenian diasporas in terms of not just raising their awareness? Because I was following the war, but when I watched your documentary, Peter, it completely went at a different level of understanding. It was like you hear about it and you read about it and you even see pictures, but the documentary really was powerful. How do you hope this film will impact the Armenians in the diaspora in terms of what would you like them to do after watching this documentary? And what do you hope to happen when non-Armenians watch this documentary?
I think the biggest power the documentary has is some people will never end up going to Artsakh. They will never be able to see it and be there and stand on the grounds of those beautiful fields. But the documentary itself is almost the closest thing to being there. She captured the energy of the people and the land so perfectly that you hear the birds chirping in the background. You hear the children taking a dip in the little lake. These are the moments in the film that I believe people connect to immediately. And that's why I think it's a unique documentary compared to some of the other ones that are out there, which is great, because I would love to have 10 documentaries at least a year on Artsakh at this point, since we're behind. But her documentary and our documentary basically is is a unique perspective of somebody that might never be there in person, but might feel like they were but after watching it. And then just listening, sitting back and listening to somebody just talk. It's not often you see that anymore. You hear bangs and whistles and bombs and quick cuts and all of these things, but just listening to someone speak about their struggle and seeing hope still in their eyes after everything they've gone through really is something powerful, I think, as an image and as a film. Let alone now with Alan's music going and playing on the side, I call it the double whammy, because the image itself was such a powerful image, but then Alan created this genius, fluid, one flow all the way through, where the music itself is so beautiful. Mm-hmm. I think that's really the punch out where people watch it now. I mean, there are going to be some people talking about non-Armenian. We made this movie for non-Armenians. We didn't really make the movie for Armenians. We made it for the world to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And there are going to be some people that are not going to connect to it. They're going to be, they're going to be like, well, this is boring, or I don't know, who are these people? And there's nothing there. That's going to exist. It's always going to be there. We're just hoping that there's a percentage that we are going to connect to, and they're going to say, wow, they're going to be wowed by the beauty of the place, the energy of the people, everything about it. That's going to be like incredible. And I hope that's coming through to the non-Armenian community out there. And I feel like it is, because we're doing our rounds in the festival circuit, and we are presently in 24 festivals in 2 months. And I feel that's a number that's more than usual. I mean, I don't know. Last time I had a festival in the movie, it just went to 3 festivals, and that was it. But things have changed. So we have more opportunity now, and I'm doing my best to take advantage of that opportunity and spreading the film all over.
Yeah, I totally agree with you in terms of music. I can't imagine watching a documentary without the music. It kind of completes it. When I watched this movie, I saw both the suffering and the strength of our people. I saw heartbreak, but also gratitude to be alive, and a deep love for our ancestral land. I saw destruction and rubbles, but also beautiful images of nature in Artsakh, like birds chirping. I saw children playing in the snow and laughing and smiling. And I heard this interview with this young boy who's just too young to have experienced this, and his plans to, protect Artsakh in the future at any cost. And at the end, and even when I'm thinking about the end, I'm getting goosebumps. You offered hope and determination to rebuild. I remember that phrase in my mind. It doesn't go away. As long as we're alive, we are going to rebuild everything. And it was like I was crying at some moments, and then I was smiling. It was like up and down. And I guess that's the nature of the universe. Where there is hatred, there is love. Where there is hopelessness, there is hope and gratitude. It was just so powerful. And can you tell us, is that the impact you wanted the documentary to have on people, to kind of resonate with our own emotions about, the nature of things, and not everything is black and white, and that in the middle of heartbreak, you can find hope, you can find love, you can find joy. And some of the villagers were talking about, I'm going to live my life, I'm going to enjoy my life. Was that intentionally done, or it just organically happened?
The stories are just organic. The people in Artsakh are just living their lives, and all they want is peace. And that's all they want. They just want to live their lives in peace. Yeah. When we're watching or filming and we're hearing, we're just letting that happen. We're not guiding, we're not directing. Mariam is a non-narrative. She literally just knows how to open people's hearts and get that information out. She's incredible with that. I mean, I don't think anybody in the diaspora would be able to go there and get what, let's say, somebody from there is able to do. And the way she does it, talking to elderly, talking to children, talking to war veterans, talking to people that have lost their kids and children or fathers and mothers, it's difficult. It's difficult conversation to have, but yet there's this almost magic on screen, I find, when they're talking. And it is, in the hopelessness, there's still hope. When we lost the war, let's say it as it is, right? Everybody in the diaspora was very disappointed, because maybe some of the disappointment came because the truth wasn't clear to us of what was actually going on there. Even Armenian government wasn't telling us what was going on and how it happened that way. And then all of a sudden we gave up Shushi, and all of this happened all at once, and everybody was angry. I was angry, everybody was angry. But that anger, sometimes some people shut down, and a lot of the diaspora, I've noticed, they just pull back, and they were just like, I don't want to hear anything anymore. My heart's broken. I don't want to deal with it. Well, the people that are still there, they're still there, and we can't deny that they need to exist. They need to live, and they need to live in peace. And if we just turn our backs on them, then we really lost. And I think that's what the film is about. It's about really like protecting them, making them relevant, giving them a voice so that others can hear this voice and they can do something about it. They can stand up again. Maybe it would light that fire in them again. Yes, you're angry. Use the anger for the right reason now. Use it for trying to help more in a way where you never helped before. I think this is what our ultimate goal is right now with the film.
Wow, thank you. Yes. Any upcoming films you can tell us about? Are you working on any projects right now? What should our audience expect to see in the future from you?
Well, we greenlit the third season. So the third season's already right now starting. Mariam's out and about this week, already starting to film. And by January, we'll have episodes coming out. We're releasing 2 episodes a month for the next 5 months afterwards. So we'll have a 10-part series for the third season. And I believe that will also include parts in Armenia. We are now that we see that the Azeris have attacked Armenia and the border towns that are there. Mariam suggested that maybe we should go outside of Artsakh too and start, covering those towns, and I was all for it. So that's definitely the project right now that's going on. And personally, right, my fire is lit now again, as I felt when I started the Music Awards, when I was on a mission. I feel like now I'm on a mission. So I wrote up 10 different documentaries. My goal right now is to have at least 10 documentaries made in 2022, all dealing with the Armenian issue. So whatever it is, I'm going to find different directors. Obviously not, it can't be Mariam. Mariam's going to be doing The Desire to Live and, other things with her too. But there's so many creative Armenians out there, and we all need to start working together like a real industry so that we can really produce things that have content about what's going on and then share it with everybody. And this is what I'm doing so far. So yeah, I'm going to be busy. I have a lot of things on my plate. So
very happy to hear that. Anything else that you would like to share with our audience?
Well, I would like to see if Alan had an experience also, so that he could share with us, because it was a pleasure working with Alan with the film. And I have to say, when I approached him and I told him about it, and I said, we have this series, but I want to turn it into a feature film so that I can actually send it to festivals. And I had a game plan in my head, but I needed music for the film, because it's different when you have small segments. It's different when you have a full feature. You need that dramatic impact. And Alan literally jumped on and said, I'll do it, and I know he's busy, like everybody is in LA, but working with Alan was exceptional, and it was quite an experience to do something with him. And I just want to see how his experience was also working on it, so that I know he's told me, but I want to see how he feels lately, because I haven't had a chat with him lately. So what do you say, Alan?
No, I still feel the same way as I told you. It was a pleasure working on it. And it's, yeah, I felt as a third generation Armenian, and my wife is Hayastansi, I felt an obligation not only to my own people, but to my grandparents and their generation who survived the genocide. And there was no question in my mind whether or not I was going to do it. It was whether Peter and Mitem were going to let me work on the film. And when he said yes, I was thrilled to be able to be working on it. And I just want to acknowledge too, Jacqueline Vartanyan was the person, I think she posted it on Facebook, is how I found out about the project. And I reached out to Peter, and that's how we connected. But I also want to say that you were talking about Mitem's, what she brought to it. It's not only that she was able to bring out the people she interviewed, but also the way she edited it all together and the images she created a cinematic experience, so that you have this juxtaposition of the images of Armenia and of the people of Armenia and the devastation, and all of that came together. And that, being in the film business as long as I have been, that wasn't accidental. That was intentional. And that was, and more that, aside from all of the other issues, that was one of the things that drew me creatively towards the project, because I knew she had a very clear intent in what she was trying to do. And I was happy that I was able to do justice to what, my job was easy. Mitem had the most difficult job, being out there among the people and in the war zone, and Peter with all the work he's done. So me sitting in my studio and just trying to come up with something that helped and lent a voice musically to what they did. It's really been my pleasure and an honor to be able to work on this project. And as Peter has said, it's my hope that not just Armenians, but the entire world sees this film and sees what the Armenians of Artsakh have been going through.
Thank you, Alan. And our children and our grandchildren and great-grandchildren will also watch this documentary. The music was beautiful. The desire to live had a very powerful impact on me, and I'm sure it will have similar impact on other viewers. Alan Derian, Peter Bahlawanian, on behalf of the Arpa International Film Festival and Arpa team, I would like to thank you for making this happen and for tonight's Q&A session. We wish you success in all your future projects. Thank you everyone for being here with us.